Hello and welcome back to my channel. So we're still in Krakow in Poland, and today we're going to explore, let me pronounce this, Pedgorze. I probably said that wrong. So we're crossing the bridge here from Pedgorze, but have a look at this bridge. It's got all these artwork on here. So we did the walking tour first, which covered both areas of the Jewish side of Krakow. And Kazimir is where the Jewish originally built their community. And over the bridge in, gosh, I hate saying this because I get it wrong, in Pedgorze is where the ghettos are. Look at this. So when they had the German occupation, the Jewish were moved over the bridge to this side, so they were further away from town. And these ghettos were formed. Now, the area is a lot larger than it was then. When it was the ghettos, it was a very small area that we're walking into now. And basically, this is where they were all put. And the foods were rationed, apparently not very good conditions. Most of my information I got from the guide when I did my walking tour around here. She was very good, very knowledgeable. Great history tour. And I'm just re-walking it now and going to some of the museums I wanted to see. I'm taking you with me. Yeah, so apparently they were all rationed, 300 calories a day. There's hardly anything here. Couldn't get anything from the outside. Anyone that helped them was sentenced to death. Wasn't a particularly nice place to be. There's a lot of history to it. Definitely something worth looking into if you're interested in that. I mean, I've learnt so much while I've been here in Krakow. You know, learn a bit at school, don't you, about World War II, but I had no idea the extent of it. But yeah. Anyway, I'll show you around. So in front of me, there's a big square with a church on the top. It's a very pretty church. So this was the square then. And here it is now. Christmas decorations out already. Look at that big church at the end. It's very beautiful. Very nice square, but actually I want to go and show you Ghetto Square and a couple of the museums up there. So we're going to wander up there. So this here is where the ghetto started. And apparently the trams were still running then, but the guards would get on the doors so that no one could get in or out. And now we've arrived at the Krakow Ghetto Square. This is where they have all these chairs as a memorial. And some of the chairs have pictures on them. and candles and stones that people have left. There are 64 chairs in total, so the ones you see in the middle, there's some on the sides and some as we came in and along there, and they represent the 64,000 Jews that were deported for extermination. And the tour guide that we were with for this area, she explained that after they were taken away from the ghettos for extermination, all their belongings were piled up here so it could be sorted and shared out with where it was going, and that is why the chairs have been put here to commemorate that. It's a very beautiful memorial. So on the corner there is what's known as the pharmacy under the eagle. We're going to go there now. And that's a museum about the pharmacist here who he basically gave medicines for free to the Jewish people living here in the ghettos, helped them by dyeing their hair for them to make them look younger, to try and help them survive. And anyway, I've got a ticket for that museum, so I'll go there next and learn a little bit there.
Ich selekcja dostali się do Płaszowa, do obozu z autobusem na
So that's a very interesting museum. You can open all the drawers and read stuff. I spent quite a bit of time in there. I showed you a little bit, but they're kind of watching you, so you can't film too much. But really good for getting some history. Yeah, definitely worth a visit. So that was Pharmacy Under the Eagle. Now we're going to make our way to the Schindler Factory Museum. So I don't believe the actual factory is still there, because obviously he had to relocate that. And if you've ever watched the film Schindler's List, interestingly, the guide I had on the walking tour said that it wasn't entirely accurate, the film that is. She said it did, the end result happened, but it wasn't always necessarily him that did it, or he did it for his own reasons. But anyway, they did save people, and that's what matters, isn't it? Right, so let's go and have a look what the factory has to say. Oh, so here we are at the Schindler Factory Museum. I actually put this online. I'm a bit early, so I'm going to see if they'll let me go in early. Fingers crossed.
Z każdej strony pokazać, że zastradałem. Wspomniana zakładna jest tak bardzo edukacją
And if you're a fan of the Schindlers list, these are the stairs up to Oscar Schindler's office.
You don't know, you don't understand, you quarrel just about the ridiculous things. There is no place to.
Oh, that was really interesting. Oh, so much history there. I was there for hours. Now, no idea where I am. Just following my map. This way somewhere. I don't think I've ever been anywhere like this. But I don't feel unsafe. Now, if you saw somewhere like this in London, no way would you walk this. Well, somehow I need to get up on the bridge. Oh yeah, it's over there. Somewhere. I'm not playing chicken on the road. There we go. We'll just go up and over the bridge. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Now I have one other place to visit to complete the historical site on the war and the impact it had on Krakow. And the guide recommended a place to me, so I'm going to try and find that and then add that to the end of this video. Maybe I should have done the stairs. Where am I going? Fine enough, get my steps in while I'm doing this week here. So yes, and then I'll add that on, and then that will be the history of Krakow and World War II. And if you are coming to Krakow, I really recommend doing the walking tour because she gave me so much history. And she was so knowledgeable. It was so good. And look at the city view while I'm rambling on. There we go, we're going to cross the bridge over to the other side. Yeah, she was so good on the walking tour. So much knowledge. So worth doing. I'm so glad I did that. That was my favourite of the 2 walking tours. And then I didn't film it this time because I was just listening to everything she was saying. But now that meant I could go around and have a better understanding. And actually a lot of the history she gave me was in the Schindler Factory Museum, but it was still well worth doing. It had a lot more in there. It was brilliant. But expect to spend 2 to 3 hours there if you're going to read and look at everything. It's so detailed. And the pharmacy was good as well. And it was good to see Ghetto Square. Ghetto Square. You see, I'm tired. I've been walking all day. Anyway, I'll add the next bit on to this video. So I'm going to say goodnight for now, but stay tuned and we'll try and find the other place. So this was a museum recommended to me by my tour guide to complete the history of the war. So lots of stories here. This museum's a little bit out of town. She did recommend it, so I actually cheated and got an Uber down here. Took about 15 minutes, cost me £4, so I'm not going to complain with it. But let's go in and see what it's about. Oh my god, that museum is a little graphic, but gosh, it was good. It goes through all the history of the Gestapo, the SS, and also everything that happened at Ghetto, and also goes on to talk about when the Russians came. It's very thorough, but there's some pretty sad stories in there. And then afterwards you can go and look in the cells. So that's actually the cells they used, and the bathroom there. And you can see all the inscriptions on the wall where they carved on the wall. Very moving indeed. It's going to upset you if you go, but well worth it. So that concludes the history on this side of it, and it's been God, I tell you, it's been so interesting to follow and go to these museums. So you had Egon to the pharmacy. Schindler's Museum is absolutely brilliant, and this Gestapo Museum is absolutely brilliant, if a little bit upsetting. And then of course you had Auschwitz, and so it all ties together. Oh gosh, I've learned so much. Absolutely loved it. If you missed my Auschwitz video, I'll put a link to it. I hope you found it interesting. Sorry I can't show you everything that's in the museums, but some of it you wouldn't want to see. But definitely if you're in Krakow, definitely come and see this. It's brilliant. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Ciao!